I would honestly go so far as to say after this season there may actually be some question marks over Xabi Alonso as a head coach, in my opinion. And I know that's a really kind of hot take, but last season everything worked out perfectly for him. He had his system in place, the players played tremendously well to it, and he had a world-class player in Florian Wirtz who basically pulled them out of the fire numerous times. You know, they were called Neverkusen, or they went from being called Neverkusen to Laterkusen or whatever it was we used to call them because they kept winning all these last minute. So he had a system that everyone worked tremendously well in. Obviously, a number of players who played out their skin, who had never shown it before. Hideki, Jonathan Tah, guys like that. And then he had Florian Wirtz, who was, like, you know, the closest thing that the Bundesliga's had to Lionel Messi. I'll go so far as to say that, aside for maybe Jamal Musiala. He had everything lined up for him. This season, that all fell apart. But instead of having creative solutions to those problems, Xabi Alonso has just stubbornly stuck with the exact same team every week. Yeah, he's made some changes. He's put a Mukiele in here, or a Palacios in there, or let's try Robert Andrik at right back, or sorry, centre back, or let's try Frimpong as a striker. He's kind of played around with those things. But for the most part, he hasn't really been willing to change his tactics or his system, even though that squad is obviously looking exhausted. And, you know, it's this constant speculation over, will Xabi Alonso go to Real Madrid? Has he been tempted by Real Madrid? How can Real Madrid tempt Xabi Alonso to go there? I just kind of wonder, if I was a Real Madrid fan who, so obviously watching their season go up in smoke, and understandably it's probably grasping at straws thinking, well, hopefully we can get someone like Xabi Alonso to come in and fix things. I just kind of wonder if Xabi Alonso's had one good season at Leverkusen. Okay, maybe two, because he obviously did a decent job the first season, first half season, whatever it was. But in this season, everything went wrong for Leverkusen, and he hasn't really struck me as a head coach who's had a clear answer to these problems. He hasn't got the most of the signings they've brought in. Now, that might just be because they're all flops, or it could just be that he's not really been willing to change his system to adapt to the players that they've signed. And I just kind of wonder if, I don't know, he maybe feel like he has a point to prove, and that might be why he stays at Leverkusen. But I'm being incredibly harsh here, but if he stays at Leverkusen this summer, I'd be looking at the team and thinking, I actually think Xabi Alonso has a bit of a point to prove in that third season. He has to sit down and be like, no, I can not say that he has to win the Bundesliga, but he has to make that team. It's almost like that band that have the amazing first album, and then they have all this pressure to, you know, put the lighting back in the bottle and redo it again. That's kind of where Xabi Alonso is with this Leverkusen team right now. He won the Bundesliga, and now I feel like he's really struggling to show that he can repeat that miracle. And we'll have to wait and see what he can do next season, because it hasn't worked out for them this season.